One of the more popular features of the AAA video game in this generation is an open world type mechanic, ranging from racing games to a large open space, to large urban cities, to a post-apocalyptic space, or a futuristic environment. There is a lot of different open worlds in gaming for sure, and the question is, what is my favourite of the bunch? So that's what we're going to be doing in today's top 10 list. I will be covering my top 10 open worlds. Now, this is actually my first top 10 which I've ever done an update on, because the first time I actually did the open worlds list was actually in May of 2021. So yeah, it's been almost 4 years since the first one came out, and there has been quite a few changes since that first list. I've played a lot more video games which I never played. Some of the games that was on the original list have now gone completely, and there's been some big changes at the top as well. So yeah, let's get into this list and see what is what. Also, sorry, I forgot to mention one quick detail. There is actually a bit of a rule about this list, and that is I'm only going to be counting open worlds from standard games. So there is a couple of video games on here that has DLC areas, so I will only be counting the open worlds that was brought out with the original game. Now, if the open world has sort of been updated with like mini tweaks, then that is acceptable, but DLC stuff is not. So like if you've got DLC expansions, then I will not be including them in this list. One notable mention that I did want to put on this list before we got into the main top 10 was Watch Dogs Legion. So for anyone that's actually seen the original list, you'll be surprised to know that this at the time was actually my number 1 entry. So in 4 years, a lot has changed. I still like the open world of Watch Dogs Legion, but going back and playing some of the other games on that list, along with playing a lot more new titles, I don't know, it's just missing something. Probably the main reason it keeps it as an honorable mention is because it is a relatively current London. There's one or two things which is a little bit futuristic or not quite accurate in the title, but quite a few of the things in Watch Dogs Legion is accurate to London, which is pretty much my home city. I don't live directly in London, but I've been to it a lot of times, so there's a lot of London I know. So yeah, didn't quite make the top 10, but I did want to put an honorable mention for Watch Dogs Legion. Number 10 on this list is Batman Arkham City. So this is one of the games which has kind of dropped down a little bit, but I will explain properly later. So on my previous list it was ranked number 7, but this time it's just inside the top 10. But despite that, Arkham City is probably still one of the best open world games ever made, and it's arguably the best superhero game ever made. So I've probably gone on about Arkham City quite a bit over the years. I've done a gameplay series of it, but yeah, I've already like made my thoughts clear about Arkham City. It's probably the best quality Batman game there is. Like the storytelling, the voice acting, the cast. Yeah, it's definitely up there as one of the best experiences I've had in a superhero game, and yeah, it's definitely for me still in the top 10. It's like it represents what's great about the Batman franchise. Like it's gritty, like it's got a really good story, the voice acting. I'm probably repeating myself now, but yeah. So combine all of those together, and just being a fun game as well. That's why it's, for me, still inside the top 10 on my open worlds list. Number 9 on this list is Fallout New Vegas. So Fallout New Vegas is actually one of the few games which actually ended up in exactly the same spot as the last list. It was 9 back in 2021, and it's still 9th place for me now. This is regarded as probably the best Fallout game for me. Personally, I enjoy Fallout 4 as a game more, and we'll get to that later. But yeah, Fallout New Vegas definitely has some really strong standout areas. Most notably in, of course, Vegas itself. Then you've got a couple of desolate areas which just make it feel like the Mojave Desert is like... There can be threats around any corner, whether it be death claws or the multiple arrays of creatures like fire ants and that type of stuff. Yeah, so it feels a very desolate location, but crucially for me, I put it above Fallout 3 because I feel like even though it's in the desert, it just has more colour to it, which I know that sounds weird being a desert, but with Fallout 3, it feels very grey and very like green in like the tinge of colour they use. Well, with this one, it feels more... I don't know, it feels more colourful, which is funny to say. But yes, also Fallout New Vegas itself has a very good story. Like I said earlier, it probably is regarded as the best Fallout game because of its multiple directions that you can go in. I think it has the most choices of ending of any Fallout game. So yeah. Also, on a side note, I'm going to be curious to see how New Vegas is going to be represented in Season 2 of Fallout. Because, yeah, that's where the next season is going to be. And according to reports, it should come out next year. So, yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see how that pans out. But anyway, yeah, for me, Fallout New Vegas is a great open world. And for me, it's number 9 on this list. Number 8 on this list is the first new entry on this list, and it is Batman Arkham Knight. So, as a video game, Arkham Knight is probably not quite as good as Arkham City. There is some gameplay updates, but I think the story in Arkham City is a stronger one. However, after revisiting Arkham Knight a couple of times, I have to say I think I might prefer the open world in Arkham Knight more than Arkham City. I think there's probably 2 or 3 main reasons why I went with this. Firstly, there's a greater variety, I think, of Riddler challenges in Arkham Knight compared to Arkham City, but admittedly that might be more gameplay related, I admit. Second, I actually think there's... Or you could argue, I think there's actually more Easter eggs in the Arkham Knight map compared with Arkham City. Like, you got references to Metropolis, like there's a LexCorp building. So yeah, I think having that representative, having like the other DC worlds represented is quite good. Then you obviously got Wayne Tower, you got the police station, you got the airships, you got the clock tower. So I think there is arguably more standout locations in Arkham Knight. So yeah. Also, just admittedly the gameplay itself, like, yes, the gameplay does sometimes does kind of trick you with the open world, but I think this is one of the few times where having the gameplay updated like this, like having the more powerful zip line and also the Batmobile, it does kind of add up in a way. Yeah, there's a lot of good locations in this. Sometimes you can find random stuff as well, and I kind of like that in an open world map. But yeah, some people will say that Arkham City is better. As a game, I probably agree, but as a map, I'm tempted to say that Arkham Knight is slightly better as an open world, so that's why I've put it above Arkham City at number 8 on this list. Number 7 is Fallout 4. So last time I put this at number 6 on the list, so it's only just slightly below what I gave it in the last one. But for me, Fallout 4 is still one of my favourite video games of all time. It's probably still, I'd say, my favourite PC game of all time, and it's absolutely, at the time of recording this video, my most played game of all time. So yeah, I've definitely put a lot of hours into Fallout 4. Sometimes you can just come across random quests, which is quite fun. Then you got random enemy encounters, like in the nuclear fallout zone. I can't remember what it's called. Something C. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. Green Sea or something like that. There's a lot of there's a lot of dangerous encounters. Like you got rad scorpions, you got death claws, and just a whole bunch of random locations which you can find. That's the magic of the Fallout 4 games, is that you can just wander around and endlessly, and then all of a sudden, oh, here's a quest, oh, here's a random location. So yeah, I just find that quite fun. I've played Fallout 4 quite a bit now, but even so, on the on the very odd occasion, I am actually still finding one or two new places which I haven't come across, which is really saying something considering I've played it so much. But yeah, also of course adding mods does help as well, admittedly. But yeah, it's just an area which I like because there's a lot of good areas. You've got the Predwin, you've got the Institute, you've got Diamond City, and there's a whole other bunch of notable locations, I feel like. Is it as artistic as Fallout New Vegas? I would probably have to say no, because Fallout New Vegas does have more colour, but as in like in Vegas itself. But as an overall package, I would say Fallout 4 is a stronger connection. So that's why I've put it at number 7 on this list. Coming in at number 6 on this list, we have the other Watch Dogs title that was on the previous list, Watch Dogs 2. So last time I actually put this as the runner-up on the list, so you can kind of see how much has changed, being that the Watch Dogs games is now 11th, technically, and 6th on the list. But in fairness, after playing both the Watch Dogs games again, I kind of do prefer the open world more in this one. Firstly, it feels more, like colour-wise, it feels more vibrant, being San Francisco. There is a lot of notable locations which I recognise, such as the Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz, that little tower, which is on top of the hill. Sadly, I can't remember what it's called right now. And of course, the Pyramid Tower. Also can't remember the name of that. I do apologise. But it's just fun going around this map. Like, sometimes I've just popped into Watch Dogs 2 just for a little bit of a chill session, really. And it's a really nice game to play. Yeah, like I said, colour-wise, it does feel brighter than Watch Dogs Legion, so maybe that's also another factor. Does it feel as busy as Watch Dogs Legion? I'm tempted to say no. I think Watch Dogs Legion does have more traffic, but I do think overall this is a really nice open world just to like cruise around in and like go look at some stuff. And yeah, also having been to San Francisco almost 10 years ago now, some of the stuff I generally do recognise, so it's a nice reminder of what I've done in the past as well. So not quite good enough for the top 5 anymore, but I do enjoy this map, and that's why it's number 6 on this list. Number 5 on this list is appropriately GTA 5. So last time I actually had this third on my list, but this time it comes in at number 5. But it's nothing to criticise GTA 5 for, because it is still one of the best open world games ever made. And yeah, you could argue this year might be its songs, over the next year, it's its song swung as well, with the supposed release of GTA 6. I'm recording this before we have any confirmed release date, admittedly, but it's currently rumoured to be October, I believe, of this year. But we'll see. But yeah, GTA 5, there is a lot of stuff in here. Like what I was referring to with Watch Dogs 2 and San Francisco, there is a lot of stuff which you can identify from GTA 5 from the real city of Los Angeles, and a couple of other things here and there. So yeah, you've got the Hollywood sign, you've got the downtown district, you've got there's a whole bunch of things. You've got the piers around Santa Monica area. So yeah, and also it's just a generally good map. Like there's a lot of buildings, a lot of variety, different environments. So yeah, this will go down definitely as one of the greatest open world games of all time, for sure. I mean, it's been around for 15 years this year, which is crazy. I think it's 15 years, which is crazy to think that this game is 15 years old, and that so many people are... Sorry, no, 13 years old. So it's 13 years old, and so many people are still playing this game. I have made my thoughts clear about GTA Online. It doesn't feel quite the same as it used to, which I kind of miss. But yeah, you can't really take away from what this game was and is. Yeah, it's a really good open world game, and that's why it's still in the number 5. That's why it's still in the top 5 on this list. Number 4 on this list is Marvel's Spider-Man 2. So when I did this list last time, Marvel's Spider-Man, the original, was actually the number 4 entry on this list, behind GTA 5. But this time it is actually ahead of GTA 5 for 2 reasons. Firstly, the world itself has been expanded since the first one, because you now got like you got Queens and you got Coney Island, which add more variety to the game. You can, yes, the mechanics do mean you can navigate the city more, but it just feels like there's more life in Marvel Spider-Man 2 than there is the first one. Also, I think there was some improvement details as well, so like a couple of areas was also improved compared to the previous one. And yeah, there's not really too much I need to explain about Marvel Spider-Man 2. Like, more areas to explore, better variety, I think some detailed changes as well, which makes it quite good. So yeah, so this is technically, well, I wouldn't say this is a new game. I'd say this is technically an update of an old one. So that's why I mentioned about an update of an existing world, because they did take the original Spider-Man map and then expand it and upgrade it. So yeah, that was the caveat I made with the like upgrading an existing map. So yes, however, that is technically, if you count this as an old game, this is the last of the old ones, because the 3 new ones are the top. The top 3 are all new games which I played after, well, along with Spider-Man 2. They are all new titles that I played after the original list came out. So let's pop into them. Let's pop into the top 3 and see what is what. Coming in at the bronze medal position, aka number 3 on this list, is Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, specifically, I'm referring to the original release of Horizon Zero Dawn, not the remaster version, because I've not actually played that one yet. So this actually came out during 2021, just around the time actually which I was making the original Open Worlds list. So that means this game only just missed out on being on the list, because it is a fantastic open world. So this is set in a post-apocalyptic United States, specifically near the Yellowstone National Park area, albeit we don't actually go to Yellowstone itself. So there's a whole bunch of areas, like different tribes, different biomes, like you got snow, you got desert, you got jungle, and there's some really great places as well. One of the standout ones being the city of Meridian. Yeah, so, and it's by the Kaja tribe. Yeah, the Kaja have definitely some of the more standout urban locations in the game, and also there's also just the sensation of finding these ruins. Like, yeah, there's ruins from the old worlds. There's relics as well, which you can find. There's also scavenger hunts, which I quite like. And at some point as well, like, you can just end up with a random encounter with a machine. It's a really great landscape. The sound, like, I don't really comment about the sounds that often, but the Horizon games in particular, there is a really relaxing sound when you're exploring some of these areas, like the waters or the jungles and that type of stuff. And yeah, it's just a really nice environment to be in. Now, hint, I mentioned Horizons, so that might be a bit of a spoiler for later. But yeah, I really enjoyed Horizon Zero Dawn, and yeah, for me, it is number 3 on this list. Taking the runners-up spot on this list, we have at number 2, Night City from Cyberpunk 2077. So this is turning into one of my favourite PC games of all time, is Cyberpunk 2077, and it has become generally one of my favourite open worlds I've ever played. There is a lot of great areas in Cyberpunk. yeah, there's a lot of great areas ranging from the Aldecado camp, the dam, Japantown, like the city center district, the wastelands inside the Badlands. There is a whole load of great areas in Cyberpunk 2077, and this list is not including Dogtown, because that is actually a DLC area, technically. So Dogtown won't be included in this, but this is a fantastic map. Cyberpunk is up there now as one of my favourite games I've ever played. So if I was ever to update my top 10 list, this would definitely be on it for sure. Yeah, there is a whole load of stuff. It's been a long time since I've just simply played a video game where if I wanted, I just drove around in a car to my destination rather than fast travelling, which does happen quite a bit now. Like even in Horizon Zero Dawn, I fast travel. Like the Fallout games, I fast travel quite frequently. But Cyberpunk is one of the few games which I usually never fast travel if possible. Like I usually want to drive or that type of stuff. It just feels like a really good environment. Like some areas it's dark, it's gritty, but it does have a lot of colour at nighttime. That's where I feel like this game is its strongest, during nighttime scenarios. But yes. Also on a side note, like the Cyberpunk story itself is like fantastic itself, and the soundtrack. But yeah, so really great. But I think for me, there was one game which I couldn't leave out as being the #1 pick. But yeah, I just wanted to give Cyberpunk its dues, and yeah. So that's why Cyberpunk is number 2 on this list. Number 1, Horizon Forbidden West. So at the end of the day, I had to put this at number 1 for one simple reason. This is possibly the most beautiful open world game I've ever played, quite simply. So there is a lot of notable locations in this game, whether it be the ruined remains of San Francisco or Las Vegas, to the tribes that built the area, such as Plainsong, built by the Utaru tribe, which for me is generally one of my favourite cities/settlements in any video game which I've come across. The way it blends nature with like human technology. Then you got the Tanakts, then you got the Quinn and the Utarus and the Karjas. There is a lot of standout locations in this map, and just with like Horizon Zero Dawn, like I said earlier, there's also a lot of variety when it comes to the biomes as well, because you've got mountains which are snow covered, you've got large deserts, you've got large forests, you've got jungles, but this takes it to another level. Like the sound, the animals, the environment, it is stunning. And it's really functional as well, because like some of the mechanics also have been updated, so you can like fly around as well, like with the sun wings as well. Yeah, there is a lot of stunning locations in this game, and that's not even to mention the Burning Shores DLC, which introduced Los Angeles. I know I'm not including DLC on this list, but that is also a stunning one. I think I put that as my runner-up DLC, if I'm correct, behind Phantom Liberty, if I'm correct, in my DLCs list. But yeah. Yeah, quite simple. This is possibly the best looking open world I've ever played. Now, there are some notable open world games which I've never played. I've never played the Elden Ring games, never played Skyrim, never played... yeah, there's a lot of stuff I've not played when it comes to open world, like I've not played Starfield, I've not played Outer Worlds, those type of games. So there's probably some very big open world games which I'm missing. There is also a possibility that games like Atomfall could maybe potentially be a candidate from this list one day. That's only just recently released, and you never know what's around the corner. A good example might be GTA 6. That could potentially also be a candidate for best open worlds on my personal list one day. But for now, for me, number 1 has to be Horizon Forbidden West, just the way it looks, the way it's designed, and the way it sounds. So yes, so number 1 on this list, closing it out, is Horizon Forbidden West.